Putlare gore na le na ra go ira ka tsela e ntseng jana wa go mpolelela jalo mo go 0693380057 tota o romela melaetsa mpolelela gore ke efeng ya dipina tsa ga Nomfundo tsela gore o ka tsela gore wa di rata ke lebela tshibra kwa me entire metsotso ele masome a mabedi jalo go tswa ko ureng ele ya borobedi for WhatsApp FM 99.3. Nomfundo, I don't know if you can hear me now.
At first, I hope you can hear me now.
Perfectly so. How are you today?
I'm super good, thank you. How about you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us on Waterbeck FM.
It's a pleasure, and also a big greeting to the listeners.
Thank you. I think I want to start off by saying congratulations to you. I think you finally found the soft life that you were praying for. I saw that it was announced yesterday that on Spotify you have like 12 million streams. I think I'm going to have to ask you first that how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm super excited, but most of all, I'm super grateful to my team, to my family and my fans, because I don't think I would have made it this far without your support, because I wouldn't be streaming my music alone. I wouldn't be listening to my music alone. The fact that you trusted me that much to go an extra mile and listen to the music and buy the music, it means a lot. Hence, I am here today. So it's all love. I'm super grateful and a bit emotional when I look back and look at where I come from.
Nomfundo, one of the things that amazes me every time I listen to an interview is that you keep on saying something like you didn't know that you were going to make it in the industry. Do you still feel that way? Do you still feel a sense of pressure that you still have to prove yourself?
Definitely, because I think that's what keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
If kunento that you wish to achieve, or I am not comfortable where I am, then you have a drive, you have a direction, because you know where you want to go. But the moment you feel like I've got it all now, then you'll be in your comfort zone and you won't see what you're working for. So Mina, with all that I've achieved, I'm super grateful for it, but I believe there's still room for growth. There's still a lot more that I can do.
Let's talk about, obviously, I think that you're talking about complacency. I think that the message, obviously, is you encouraging people that if you want to reach something, you must not be complacent. Like, you must always, find yourself at a place that you are challenging yourself.
Yes, definitely.
I want us to talk a little bit about from being able African rising star to this point where you're 12 million streams. Can you take me through that path? What has been happening, the amount of work that you had to put in, because I get a sense that you are a very disciplined person.
I am, and I'm glad that someone else could see that. Well, yes, earlier this year, I was one of the top rising stars on Apple Music, and that came up with a lot of interviews. I had to be present everywhere, and I'm also proud of the way they were pushing my music because of that status they gave me at that point. So I had to make sure, I also show the energy of appreciation that I appreciate being a top rising star at that moment. And also, it meant a lot for me because it meant that my hard work is indeed seen as an upcoming artist, because at that point, I still regarded myself as an upcoming artist because I only had just a few songs out. I just released my first album. I hadn't done much in the industry, but they trusted me and gave me that status at that point. So I had to do a lot of interviews, which I did all of them, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time whilst I was Apple Music top rising star. And I think that also influenced in people getting to know me, who I really am, the voice behind Nomfundo Moh, because many people only knew the music but were not familiar with the face. But the moment I started engaging or doing interviews, even radio and TV interviews, that's when they got to know and attach the face with the brand.
I think we are getting to love you more than we love your music. I think that's a good thing. Because
I love that. I live for that.
Yeah. Obviously, you've answered this question so many times, but I think so many people are not familiar with this. You've said it so many times, I know. Where does the Moh come from? Because I know it's Umapolo, so where does the Moh come from?
Okay, I chose to go with my childhood nickname because Nomfundo is my real name. But instead of taking my surname, I was like, no, let me take this one childhood nickname that best describes who I am. It actually comes from some of my insecurities because I'm very tiny. But at home, they decided to name me Mosquito because I was tiny. I am still tiny. And every time I got to be in the public eye, I'd make sure that I leave a mark or I leave people talking about me. So it kind of, they're like, you're so tiny, but then you're all over the place. Like everyone is talking about you. Wherever you go, you leave people knowing who you are. So they're like, I will no mosquito. We are thinking to that extent. So at first I was like, no. This is kind of an insult. Like, I do not accept the name. But as time went by, I learned to accept the name because that's when I actually learned to accept myself for who I am, accept that I'm petite, and I had to move from there.
So you are Nomfundo Mosquito. I love how you embraced that negative thing and then you like turned it into something positive.
Exactly, and I think it's still working out for me even now.
Yeah. You're like a powerhouse. You're like a powerhouse. Nomfundo, in one of the interviews, I heard you say, Guti, you want people to find themselves in your writing. And then when I listen to your songs, most of them sound like somebody who has like lived this life. And you're very young. Like, I want to know, Guti, songs that you write, are most of them from your personal experiences, or are they just from a lens of a writer who's able to like put herself in the foot of other people? Can you tell me more about your writing process?
I'd always like to regard myself as a storyteller because I don't just write about my personal experiences only. I don't limit myself to that. I try to observe how people are living and see their experiences. And I'm like, okay, let me put that down to pen and paper because one's experience may be someone else's reality somewhere, somehow. And it always works out because most of my songs are more about life in general, but we usually go through something that is very relatable. Hence, I get a lot of people sharing their stories of how a certain song affected them. Maybe, for example, Umthwalo, someone might tell me, it's okay, Umthwalo carried them throughout the year because they could relate because of this and that. Whilst I actually wrote Umthwalo from a very personal perspective. And then there are songs like It's of Life, which are not directly about me, but it's about our daily struggles. So because I managed to write a song that's kind of universal, a lot of people could relate to it.
Now, it makes so much sense. I wanted to ask you actually about Soft Life, Uguti, what was going on, because it's one of those songs where when you listen to it, it's you feel, Uguti, it's like it's ministering. You know,
yes.
It's ministering. It's one of those healing songs. So I get exactly what you say. They have asked you this question so many times, but I want you to take me back to the genesis of your career, Oguti. Obviously, I know which you started writing from the age of 16 and all of that. But can you take me back there to the point that you are right now, Oguti? When did you start this music thing and all of that?
Well, it's been a beautiful journey, I must say, because my beginning of doing music, it wasn't really a serious thing. I was just doing music because I loved music, so it was more of a hobby for me. And also because I come from a very musical family. But things changed, or my perspective changed a bit. From around 2016, that's when my peers or my friends from high school actually encouraged me to write my own songs, because before I do a lot of covers, I did not do my own thing. So they were like, okay, they wanted to see something. They wanted to see if I could write. So how about I challenge myself and write my own song? So I wrote my first song then. It was titled Moya Wami, but I did not record it. It was just me singing it out to them. And they approved at that time. They were like, you've got potential of being like a professional artist. Why not try to write more often? So I was like, okay, let me give myself time and start writing more, which I did. But at that time, I do not have a professional studio. until I went to UKZN, where I met a lot of serious creatives who actually had access to studio. So my interest actually grew, and I was like, okay, can you please introduce me to your producers? And they introduced me to Nation Cross, the same producer that I'm working with right now, who produced my first album and all my songs that I've released. So from then I was like, okay, now I am confident because I can even hear the beautiful quality of the songs that I'm making. So it's promising that the future is bright with me and music. So from then I never looked back.
Nomfundo Moh as well. I want us to delve a little bit into your academic life. You have a bachelor of degree in social work. Can you tell me more about that, and also how does it help you in terms of your music?
Yeah, you see, sometimes when I'm in my field, I'd call myself Nomfundo Fundile, like an educated Nomfundo.
Yeah.
That's how I attach myself to my name, like proudly, and wear my name like that. Okay, I went to UKZN to study Bachelor of Social Work with hope valuability. Or if you get the degree, I'm definitely going to practice social work because I've always had interest in helping out people or being there for the well-being of their society. That's always been something that's close to my heart. So, Nitema Nkrila in the music industry, I was like, okay, it seems like chances are slim for me to practice social work. But one way or the other, I will use it because social work is more about the people, being there for the people. So I always do that with my music. Like my music, most of it, it's about spreading love, encouraging people to love each other, not only just as lovers or partners, but it goes more than that. We've got songs like Izibusi, so that even accommodates your neighbors, your friends, your family, your parents. So that is who I am. That is me, loving people, loving love, encouraging love. It's also me inspiring people to dream big, because we've got songs like Also Fly. So it's me actually telling people that you can reach many, many greater heights if you believe in yourself. In order for other people to believe in you, you have to believe in yourself. So I put that down into pen and paper. It's still part of me doing my social work, but now I'm doing it here in the music industry as I'm not practicing.
Wow. You know, Nomfundo, when I was listening to Izibusi, so one of the things that came to my mind was that how does this young girl, having so many things that is happening in her life, manage to stay humble? Like, I want you to take me through that, because of I think it's easier right now to be at a place where you're like egotistic, where you're like not accessible, where you're not reachable by fans. So I've realized something about you, that you are one of those people that I consider to be humble. How do you manage to do that?
I think it's because the moment I took music seriously, I told myself, I am here because I love being here. I'm not here for fame. I did not do music for fame, not at all. I did music because my aim was to fulfill this passion that I have for music, and also to leave people with something. I want people to take something from me, and that is the message of love and motivation or inspiration. I want people to take that from me. So those are my main purposes for being in music, nothing else. I'm not even close to wanting fame. Even at this point, I'm like, no. Okay, fame can come because I cannot run away from it, but I don't want it to change who I am. I strongly believe that you choose who you want to be. And lokho kubonakala kakhulu when you have like almost everything. Not that I have everything that I want at this point, but if you have most of the things you've always wished for, that is the chance, or that is when people get to see who you really are, because you have a choice to stay who they've always known you as for, or you think of changing.
Wow. Magaitse ke lebela tshepara kwa meke entire metsotso elele some le borata go jalo go go ura ele ya borbongwe ke na le Nomfundo Moh ka kwano ntse re buisana ka leto la gaga la mmino. Nomfundo, one of the things that I know about you, you are big on collaboration. You've collaborated no Kwesta, you've collaborated with Shasha, you've collaborated with them Tuda, but I want to know, Guti, who is that person that you still dream, to collaborate with?
Well, I'm a big dreamer, so I'm super happy with the collaborations I've made so far. Which some of them have always been one of my dream collabos, and they were a success. So at this point, I see myself becoming an international kid. So I'd like to see myself getting to collaborate with the likes of Abo Burna Boy, Terms, and even going further to the likes of Alicia Keys. Because right now, I see myself going more and more international.
I'm not going to tell anybody. This is going to be our secret. But of all the people that you've collaborated with, who was the most favorite person that you were like, wow, am I doing this with this person?
That's a hard one, because all of them have been super amazing, and I really do not expect them to be the people that they were. Also because I'm still a new kid in the industry, and almost all of them have been in the industry, so they're more of like legends to me or my role models. But I have to give Kwesta his crown.
Yeah.
As the latest person I've worked with, like and also because he does not do Afropop, but the way he fitted on the songs and the way he seemed to understand the assignment and went to an extent of asking whether he should rewrite his verse just in case I wasn't happy about it. So that alone showed me how dedicated he was in being part of the song.
We play Sibaning a whole lot of time, but I think sometimes I struggle a little bit with the meaning. Do you want to break it down for me?
Yes, definitely. Okay, I've been writing a lot of love songs, including Abo Livizela, Pagatilan. Yeah. So it's like, for a change, let me also accommodate the brokenhearted.
Yeah.
So Isibaningi is actually a song from a girl's perspective who just found out that her partner has been cheating. So she's not the only one from her partner. There are many other girls. So it's just a squad. It's not just her. So I was like, okay, let me write the song from a broken-hearted person's perspective, and it actually did work out, because I've seen a lot of people actually confirming it. Okay, just when they thought they found their paradise, and then they find out that there are a lot of paradise out there also. So they're not the only ones. They're not the priority there, so they had to leave those toxic relationships. So that's me. I always like doing that. I like going all out and getting to reach new audience, or getting to accommodate new people now and then.
Funny enough, today's conversation with the listeners, we're talking about why do relationships tend to collapse, especially on festive seasons. Do you know? Do you know why?
No, I did not experience that, but I've heard many times which people tend to prioritize like grooves during festive seasons, and they get to see other people that time, so they're like, okay, it's time to have fun, so they find new people. That's why I've heard a lot of people be like, do not believe in relationships that start around November, because that's like a trap. It's like maybe by January, because maybe they just want you for the festive season. They just want to have fun with a new person.
Yep. Nomfundo, you were actually here, Lada El Palale, around I think it was around July. Are you planning to come back anytime soon?
Definitely, because the love was super amazing day, and I'm super happy with it. I even got to come with my band that side. That's how serious I was about coming to Lipalale. So definitely I'd come, possibly early next year.
Awesome. Let's talk about, in closing, let's talk about what are you doing next, and where do people find you?
Oh, I've been working on my second album. It's been a very tough moment for me because now it's not like how I wrote Amagama.
Yeah.
It was easy with Amagama because I was not under pressure. There was no project before. And I had a lot of time then because I was not gigging that much. And now there's a lot of work that I need to do outside of music. But at the same time, I have to carry on doing music because it's what's keeping me here in the spotlight. But I'm glad that I got to finish the album. And I'm hoping to release it sometime early next year. But I will communicate on my socials. I'd ask people to please follow me on Instagram. I am Nomfundo Moh. Can they also please follow my page on Facebook? It's Nomfundo Moh _music. And can they please follow me on Twitter? It's Nomfundo _Moh.
Do you feel a sense of pressure to outdo Amagama?
Kind of. I'm not really a person who believes in having pressures and all that. But somehow, whilst working on the album, I felt that. One of the reasons I felt that it's because I feel like the sound has matured so much. So my worry is I don't know if people will be able to vibe with this music as they vibe to Amagama. Like, it's still the same Nomfundo, but I think I've grown so much. So I'm hoping they will be happy about the album just how they were happy with Amagama.
Nomfundo, we love you. I wish you longevity, my sister. I wish the best of everything. I wish to see you winning that Grammy. I wish you the best of everything, and we love you here at Waterberg FM.
Thank you so much. Lots of love, then.
Thank you. Right, so ke re ke buisana jalo le Nomfundo Moh mo tsela gompieno re tsela ka gore ya fa ke bua fa tla go bala di comment tsa gago mo go 0693380057 le mo go Waterberg FM 99.3 tla ke dire jana be ke boela mo go wena. It's Waterberg Breakfast. Good morning.
Waterberg Breakfast. Let's go. This is your radio, your station.
Waterberg FM has unlimited supply of love. So stay tuned and feel the love. This is Waterberg FM 99.3. Go with the flow.
Major key alert.
Yo, I'm lit.
We've got the best personalities. Waterberg FM. Waterberg FM. Waterberg FM. Waterberg FM. Let's go. This is your radio, your station.
Waterberg FM has unlimited supply of love. So stay tuned and feel the love. This is Waterberg FM 99.3. Go with the flow.
Right, so ke fa ke lebela tsupera kwa me entire metsotso ele le somele borbedi jalo go ya ko ureng ele ya borobonga for Waterberg FM 99.3 tsere buisana le Nomfundo Moh ka kwana a itubeletse jalo go ka nna for Waterberg FM 99.3 ke leboga le baretsi ba Waterberg FM gore bentele reditse jalo le go ka rena lo rato le go ka netefatsa jalo gore radio rena e tswela pele Waterberg FM 99.3 tla ke dire tla ke fete ka malaetsa ga go ka kwano beke gonela nngwe e dipina tsa ga Nomfundo Moh Waterberg FM 99.3 ke le khubula gago ke batla le melaetsa ga go ka kwara gore ntle ke bona gore ke utla gore o ntha o re botsitsi la go phedo why are relationships di fela tsa jalo di phutlhaba ka ra kwala ka fa by the festive season we tla mo toka re tsena ke sebook o tla bare we tla la gore go iragala dilo di le dintsi tota me ke batla go itse gore e ka tsela gore ke ba ka ba feta ke ne ke go boditsitse jalo gore pina ga go ya ga Nomfundo Moh le gore ngwa rata tota ke feng jalo ke bana jalo Nthabi Sepokgola bua jalo gore soft life. I want to know what brought the song to existence which she says she lives the soft life she talks about now. I think she did answer that gore pinegana e kwala tota na e kwala batho ba ba make it gore she's already living that soft life le gore ntse I labela ka ntla gore mo tsitsila mabare jalo ba itsitse jalo gore o fitlhile jalo go 12 million streams mo go Spotify. I think that's soft life. Mo go Nomfundo Moh tata ke dire jana be ke boela mo go ena ke tlo go bala di comment tsa gago go utla gore wa renga kganya le gore ntse re se ka mo tsetsela gompieno gore go reng di kamano di feletse jalo di phutlhama ga go tleng jalo mo go festive seasoning. It's Waterberg FM, it's Waterberg Breakfast. Good morning.
Waterberg Breakfast. Waterberg FM 99.3. Lepalale. Falvata. Mudimulle. Tabazimbi. Mokopan. 99.3. Mina. Sedimoso. Bucamuso. Mayele. You go to Waterberg FM 99.3.